Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Peddler's Wagon. Oh, I'm sorry, I might be a little loud. Hello, everyone. My name is Dark Duel, and welcome to the Peddler's Wagon, the first episode. I will be joined shortly by the Peddler Man as we talk about cryptocurrency and you. But first off, I want to say thank you to everyone for watching. We've got a couple people watching live. I really do appreciate that. And I will get the Peddler Man here on the horn, and we'll get cracking here. All right, and we are going to connect with the Peddler Man. Hello. How is it?
Hello.
I can hear you. How's it going? Oh, it's going fantastic. That is amazing. I'm glad we can get this all to work, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is proportionate here. Here we go. All right. Well, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am the Peddler Man himself.
Well, we're very glad to have you, Mr. Peddler Man, aka Ian, as I will be affectionately referring to you as during the course of this.
All right, thank you, Connor.
So today we're going to be talking about cryptocurrency and you, and just so everyone's aware,
Yes.
I am going to be playing a little video in the background. Hopefully this works correctly. It didn't last time, but just a little Overwatch. First thing that I had there on B-roll, but we'll just be talking over it. We won't be having any discussion about what's actually being played. It might not be Overwatch the whole time. I might switch it out. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna do a quick transition here, and then we'll get talking. All right. So just enjoy that in the background as we talk about cryptocurrency. Now, neither of us, I would say, are proclaimed gurus in this field.
Yeah. I mean, I know a bit about it, but I'm no expert.
I'm by no means an expert in this field, and neither of us. Well, I can speak for myself.
Yes.
I do not have any horse in this race when it comes to crypto.
Neither do I. Neither do I. If I had the choice, I would.
Yes,
Apparently, I don't.
I would as well. But currently, that's what we'll get into. So we should really talk about first what cryptocurrency actually is. And I will pull up the official Google definition here real quick, just so that way I'm not butchering it. Cryptocurrency is a noun, and it is a digital currency in which encryption techniques are used to regulate the generation of units of currency and verify the transfer of funds operating independently of a central bank. Now I'm sure none of that made sense, but that's okay. It doesn't need to. And so, from what I can gather, from what my experience has been, the biggest cryptocurrency right now is Bitcoin. That's the one you'll hear about.
Yeah, definitely.
It peaked.
That was the first cryptocurrency to operate apart from like an organization or anything as well.
It peaked not too long ago, at least at the time of recording this. At about, I think, $23,000 was the peak for a single Bitcoin.
Yes. Right now, it's at 13,735.
So it is dropped quite a bit, but it still leaps and bounds ahead of where it was, a few years ago.
I'm sure we've all heard the story of the guy spending an absurd amount of Bitcoin.
Yes, there was a man who, back, I'm not exactly sure when it was, but a long time ago he had bought a pizza using bitcoins, back when bitcoins were worth, mere cents on the dollar, when they were extremely easy to mine, which we'll get into that whole logistical scheme later. But now the guy who, accepted the bitcoins for the pizza is now a millionaire because with those things going from, mere like 20 cents to then, $23,000, it's quite a big jump there. So Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency out there right now. It is just I'm going to say, it's
the main one. The one that everybody knows about.
The PR has really gotten to it through there. And I'm pulling up a website here. Another big one that I've heard of is Ripple, I believe is what it's called.
Yes.
Let's see right here. The top ones right now we're looking at Ripple, Ethereum. That's another one I've heard of. Litecoin, Dash,
Dogecoin.
Yes, I've heard
Foundation.
of Dogecoin. That's not on this list here, but that is one that's up there. Bitcoin right now is looking at a market capitalization of about $232 billion. That's insane.
Jeez. That is a lot of money.
It's showing right now that at least there are 16,805,012 bitcoins in circulation currently, and more are being added every day, and that's through the process of mining Bitcoin. So that's how you actually get them. I've done a little bit of research into this because I was interested, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do some Bitcoin mining or whatever. And so you can go to Bitcoin's website and you can download a program from them. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. I believe it's like the Bitcoin Core, I believe is what it... Yeah, Bitcoin Core is what it's called.
Yes.
And essentially what it allows you to do is you run this program on your computer, and it gives your computer the ability to solve math problems. You do none of this. You put in no work other than just letting the program run. But essentially your computer will solve math problems, and then once it's solved all these math problems, your computer is then rewarded with a Bitcoin or a fraction of a Bitcoin. This Bitcoin can then essentially be... It's basically just fake money that people have assigned an arbitrary value to. So really...
there's nothing
because it's not backed by like a central bank or anything. Really, tomorrow, if everyone just wanted this to drop, it really could just happen. If everyone wanted to stop...
there's no...
if everyone wanted to stop believing in it, then, they could very much stop believing in it tomorrow. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to keep just skyrocketing as more and more places start to just kind of realize that, oh, well, maybe this is something that's going to kind of stay around. And I know that Steam recently, they allowed for transactions through Bitcoin, but due to there's actually a price to do the transfer because it's not, through a central bank. They actually discontinued that, but that's another story for another time.
Yes. Well, related to growth, I have heard that there is a 21 million Bitcoin mark that Bitcoins cannot go beyond that. Like, there can only be 21 million Bitcoins in the world. But then again, that's just Bitcoin.
And yeah, what I'm looking at right now is I'm seeing there's about 16 million Bitcoins, about 17 million Bitcoins in circulation right now, according to this website, which I can throw a link up for anybody that wants it. But we're also looking at Ripple, which is another similar cryptocurrency. I'm not exactly sure how that one's obtained, but that's the big jump right there. Is Bitcoins are going for about $14,000 a piece, and Ripple, or XRP, but we'll call it Ripple, is going at $1.68 a pop. Now, tiny compared to what Bitcoins are, but according to this website, there's about 39 billion ripples in circulation right now.
Well, so now correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the worth of one of these coins is directly related to how many people use
I
them and accept.
believe so. I believe that's why it's closer to like the dollar basically. Um, it's because
Yes.
Bitcoin is just kind of Bitcoin is based on like basically people just believing in it. While Ripple is actually
Yeah.
based on how much people are willing to use it. Um,
Yeah.
right now it's saying it's got a 2.6% trade health, which is nice. Um, so it's up for the day at least. But yeah, but Ripple is another
Yeah.
big one that a lot of people are seeing. Ripple, I'm wanting to say is now I may be incorrect here, but Ripple might be one of the few cryptocurrencies that's starting to be regulated by a central bank. I may be incorrect there, and I will double check this. If you can give me a second. Regulated exchanges. I may be incorrect there, but I did believe I had seen somewhere that a certain crypto was being started to be regulated by a central kind of bank, so that way then people would be more apt to use it, based simply on the fact that it's got more of a backing to it. In that respect, and so, and these are not by any means the only cryptocurrencies out there. Cryptocurrencies are essentially just you can, if you wanted to right now, you can make your own. Um, a lot of it is it's all just arbitrary. It's like it's like physics. It's all kind of theoretical here. Um, but yeah, if you wanted to, you can make your own cryptocurrency. It's all just computer generated, and your computer will just solve math problems, and then instead of it assigning a Bitcoin, it could assign, a Litecoin or a an Ethereum or what have you. And there's quite a lot of different avenues that you could go with that. But for right now, the biggest one is Bitcoin. And while this isn't affecting us a lot right now, it certainly will be very soon. Given that Bitcoin is, still unregulated, there is still a lot of room for it to grow, since it doesn't really have a big brother looking over it right now. Oh, and it looks like Ian has left us for the moment, but he should be back, hopefully. So I'm gonna keep talking about this. Bitcoin hasn't really affected us, at least on a large scale level yet. It's not quite big enough to completely just like take over as the US dollar. Especially since it's unregulated, it really can't do that yet. But that's all I have to say for it right now. We've lost the Peddler man. We're having some technical difficulties. So we will pause and we will resume, and we will continue talking about some of our cryptocurrency issues, kind of what we find is wrong with it, and then kind of where we see it going in the future. So just stay tuned, and we will be right back. All right, everyone, welcome back. We have hopefully fixed all of our issues. I'll make sure to get another video queued up so you guys don't have to watch this over and over and over. But right now I'm going to get back with the Peddler man here. Hello? Have we returned? All right, I can hear you. We are all good. All right. You are all right.
Stop.
So I left off with talking about some of the issues that I have, or that I think that Bitcoin can cause in the future. I've got to load up a different video, so if you would like to talk about some market issues that you think Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general could cause while I do that.
Definitely.
That would be awesome.
All right. Well, first off, we have the amount of people who will accept Bitcoin. That definitely needs to grow if we'll have a viable market use. And well, as of right now, there are between 2.9 and 5.8 million users using the cryptocurrency. Their market is quite small. Now, their fees for use are lower than credit cards and debit cards, things like that. But the firms that accept payments are Dell and the computer part store Newegg.
So not a lot of the biggest issue right now is that not a lot of people are accepting this.
Yes. And now I think they might not accept it because they don't think stable
that wins so
promising enough to replace like the dollar or the euro.
So because it's shown so much movement, back and forth and back and forth, a lot of
I think
which
they're nervous.
Rightfully so. I wouldn't, hedge all of my bets on something that could easily just drop the next day.
Yes. I think we need a base behind it if they're going to start accepting it. Because right now it's the way I see it, it's basically unbridled inflation.
That's true.
Just fluctuating so much.
Because at least the U.S. dollar is regulated by,
it has some absolute behind it, not a complete dollar, but there's a little bit.
And if need be, it's easy to add more money to a circulation to and take money out just to make sure everything stays nice and precise. Yeah, to regulate it, make sure that inflation isn't too big of an issue. But with cryptocurrencies right now, because they are unregulated, it just just goes all over the place.
Definitely.
And like you said, nothing really has a definite value. It'd be a lot different if these were like physical things, tangible things that you could hold, because then at least you could sell it for the, just the simple fact that it's tangible.
Yes.
But I think simply because it's numbers on a screen makes it a lot different.
And also, one of the biggest trade countries in the world, China.
Did they really? No,
Bitcoin.
I think I'd heard something about that.
Yes, they did.
Which that's got to be an issue, because that's essentially locking out, well over 1 billion potential users.
Yes, and the trade market that China has is also huge.
And so I guess that's more of a roadblock for not necessarily these companies that have created these currencies, but more or less just a roadblock for people that really want to use it and see it used widespread. Yeah.
Although, in good news, the South Korean government is open to
well, that's good, at least. But
there's no news in North Korea.
Yeah, I'm sure that North Korea would be really up for having their whole, economy run on just numbers. If they even, but you got to have an economy first to be able to.
That's true. Okay. But other countries are also starting to regulate cryptocurrencies.
That's true. And I will look into this. Well, I am actually looking into this right now. Sorry, I've got this pulled up on a different page from MarketWatch.com, and a lot of places are seeing that fraud is very much a thing that can happen with this, just like any other, currency. I think I read recently that some U.S. Marshals had actually, over the course of quite a while, had actually obtained, I'll check the exact numbers, but they obtained a large amount of Bitcoins from, I can't think now, from fraud cases. And they recently did an auction, or they're planning an auction. Here, I've got it pulled up right here. And just so everyone is aware, Bitcoins, in of themselves, they are a Bitcoin, but they are sold and they kind of move in what is called a block. Bitcoin blocks range in size. They're usually about 100 Bitcoins to 1,000 Bitcoins. And this is what your computer will mine. As your computer solves math problems, it slowly chisels away at a block, and then the block will eventually break and give you whatever it was worth. But U.S. Marshals are planning to auction off $52 million worth of Bitcoins that were seized through asset forfeiture, with more than 3,800 Bitcoins to be auctioned off. These were, I guess, overall, the Bitcoins, when they were seized, were worth about $500,000 in total. But now, obviously, they're worth quite a lot more, ranging in at about $52 million. So it's worth quite a bit more now. But personally, I think that this cryptocurrency, it's very promising. I like the whole idea of it. I like the idea that you can kind of just sit, and I'm saying this as a lazy millennial, but you can kind of just sit and, sit on your computer and allow your computer that you've, sunk hundreds of dollars into, to just kind of do all this work for you. And I kind of fear that that's what the future will become, is just computers doing all the work for us, and then we slowly just kind of we reap the benefits in the end, which is entirely possible as cryptocurrencies grow and there becomes more and more of them. It's entirely possible that even the U.S. government will say, hey, we're going to have our own cryptocurrency called, I don't know, U.S. coin or whatever. And, that kind of takes the place of the dollar as, they try to phase out, costs for having to print stuff and, print coins. And because that does cost money. It costs money to print coins. But I could see that totally being plausible as we move forward into the future. But real quick, I'm going to read you guys a list of things as to what U.S. regulators are currently doing when it comes to Bitcoins. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, they have not approved any exchange-traded products, such as ETFs, holding cryptocurrencies or other assets related to cryptocurrencies for listing or trading, meaning, from what I can gather from that, they're not allowed on the stock market, which is kind of a big deal.
Okay.
Okay. we lost you for a second there, which that's all right. I was just...
Sorry, it's on my phone now,
right,
so we should be...
I was just talking about how the Securities and Exchange Commission, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, they have not approved any exchange-traded products holding cryptocurrencies or other assets related to cryptocurrencies for listing or trading, meaning these aren't like stocks that you can, buy and trade. which could, end up being an issue in the long run. But I'm sure that that's all subject to change. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, they have designated Bitcoin as a commodity and announced that fraud and manipulation involving Bitcoin traded in interstate commerce and the regulation of commodity futures tied directly to Bitcoin is under its authority, meaning they kind of taken it under their wing. They're saying that that's something that they're willing to regulate.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess that's kind of good news for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
If it wants to make its way towards becoming a well-known currency, a well-used currency,
and widespread and
widespread.
All that good jazz.
Yeah.
All that good jazz.
Well, so, do we want to talk about how the blockchain technology actually works?
I'm completely out of the loop there. So if you wanted to talk about that.
Okay, so basically how the Bitcoin works is that there's like a ledger that records the Bitcoin transactions, and each transaction each Bitcoin is a package of data with 2 codes on each end that change randomly. That's why when you solve the math equations with your computer, you get the Bitcoin, is because you solved the code that sends you the Bitcoin.
Okay.
Now, that's what when you mine, you look for codes for the Bitcoins. But basically, the one of those codes never changes, and the other one changes with your wallet.
Okay.
So it's actually quite secure in terms of cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So,
Yeah.
I've said all that I have to say on this topic, and I know that this is a little shorter, and I lost my background. So I think we can wrap up here. And
okay. Yeah. You guys remember to vote
yes, that's true. Little eye up in the top corner. Go up there and click and vote on what we should talk about.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
So,
see if we get this to 1 million likes.
That would be amazing.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And this will be uploaded tomorrow. So the 16th of January.
Yep. So you can come back and watch it whenever you want to.
That'll be that. So thank you for your input, Mr. Peddler Man. And
thank you for having me.
We will see you all next time. Peace out, people.
All right.